Welcome to the spring tour of my backyard vegetable garden. Hi, I'm Amy and I have a goal of growing 650 pounds of food in my small yard. Let's get started. I have red thumb, Yukon Gold, and russet potatoes planted in this patch. Out of the 67 seed potatoes I planted, only one didn't sprout. I'm hoping for a minimum harvest of 72 pounds of potatoes. My onions are doing poorer than usual. I've lost a few onions to rot and even more to the allium leaf miner. I had 172 onions planted, but now I'm down to 150. I had hoped for 65 pounds of onions, but I'll be happy with half of that at this point. I seeded carrots between where I plan to plant tomatoes along this trellis. This is my growing 100 pounds of food in 21 square feet garden. That is currently growing my first succession of lettuce, radishes, green onions, and carrots. This space is doing well overall with a total of 5 pounds of lettuce, 2 pounds of radishes, and a handful of green onions harvested so far. 2 of the 4 broccolini plants are struggling, and I'm thinking I'm going to remove them and plant something else in their place. Along the back side of the large center bed, I have my second succession of lettuce planted and a row of snap peas. I estimate to harvest about 4 pounds of lettuce from this succession. I'm hoping to harvest 4 pounds of snap peas from the row. They seem to be a little behind this spring, and I'm thinking it's because of the shade the garlic is casting, a problem I've noted for myself to fix next year during my garden planning process. The garlic is growing well. I planted 90 bulbs last fall, and I believe only 3 didn't come up this spring. I'm estimating a harvest of about 5 pounds of garlic. My pride and joy this spring has been this broccoli patch. The pest pressure for slugs and the cabbage moth has been very minor. I did treat the leaves with BT once this spring when I saw the first white moth, but I haven't needed to treat more since then. I have 38 plants here. I'm hoping to harvest about 20 pounds of broccoli from this patch. No heads have started to form at this point. Kohlrabi was an experiment and it failed. The plants are large, but no bulbs are forming. I will likely cut my losses and plant my peppers in their place. Now join me as we direct seed some summer plants into the garden and fix some of those issues I highlighted in the tour earlier. I lost about 6 square feet worth of onions to the allium leaf miner. I decided to seed some beets. Beets have the same spacing requirements as onions, 4 per square foot, and their leaves aren't large enough to smother the onions. Hopefully, this will help mitigate the lost yields from the failing onion crop. In one corner of my L-shaped bed, I'm planting China jade cucumbers to grow up the trellis. Last year was the first time I had any success. Normally, I have the cucumber beetle come and destroy my plants before they even really get started, but this variety didn't seem to have that issue. I'm estimating about 10 pounds of cucumbers from this one plant. In the other corner of my L-shaped bed, I'm planting a cantaloupe, which I have never grown successfully. Often, I can't even get the seeds to germinate, and if I do, the cucumber beetle comes and makes sure it doesn't produce any fruit. If you have any tips to dealing with the cucumber beetles, let me know in the comments. Let's remove these failing broccolini plants. They are never going to recover, and they are taking up space and giving me nothing but sadness while doing it. As I remove the plants, I'm starting to understand why they are doing so poorly. Their roots are being eaten by what looks like centipede. I treated the area with some diatomaceous earth. Because the temps are getting warmer, I thought it would be a good spot to plant zucchini. I will grow the zucchini vertically up a post, that way it doesn't take up too much space. I'm estimating a harvest of about 6 pounds of zucchini from this plant. I use a lot of homemade herb salt in my kitchen, and last year I didn't make enough. This year I wanted to dedicate a corner of my garden to growing herbs, in particular basil and sage. I can already tell you I won't be doing that again next year, because I think having herbs mixed into my other plantings will help with diversity and maybe mask the smell to pests, which would be more beneficial than having them all grouped together in a corner. My favorite planting of the late spring season is sowing pulled green bean seeds on my 2 arched trellises. Last year, these trellises produced so many pounds of green beans, the bottom part of my chest freezer was filled with them. We are still working our way through them. I'm aiming to have 2 plants per vertical run on the trellis, one on the front side and one on the back side. Each trellis will have 8 bean plants per side. My trellises are 18 inches wide and about 7 feet tall. I have 2 over my walkway. I've estimated a harvest of 48 pounds of green beans. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.